Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Projects of Power series. In today's video, we are going to be studying Stardust and what benefits it has to offer players. As a whole, the Stardust system is a lengthy and at first glance, rather expensive process to get involved in. However, similar to Renown, it requires no additional upkeep once you've obtained the benefits. In order to get started with Stardust, you'll have to complete the quest in Astronomical Discovery, as well as the following quest, Stardust Cores and Regulators. Once you have completed Stardust Cores and Regulators, you will be given the Stardust Equipment item, which has a dedicated slot on the bottom left of the inventory menu. Once you have obtained your Stardust, you will have to take on quests in order to get the materials needed for upgrading it. In order to upgrade your Stardust, you need to get Stardust Regulator Frames and Stardust Core Fragments. There are 5 different tiers for each of the items, and each tier will have a specific requirement to have access to. For Stardust Regulator Frames, you'll have to complete item fulfillment quests, which involve gathering or crafting an item to turn in for your reward, while Stardust Core Fragments are from combat missions where you are told to do a certain type of content, such as a particular dungeon or shadow mission. For you to access the different tiers of rewards from the quests, you'll have to look towards your combat and life skill levels, which can be located on the additional info tab of your character sheet or at the bottom of your skills list. The combat skill level and life skill level are directly related to your skill ranks. Some skills are excluded from this, however, such as the transformation skills, as well as any of the crusader skills, but otherwise every combat skill ranked up gives +1 to your combat skill level, while every life skill ranked up adds 1 to your life skill level. This system is in place to help you progress your Stardust alongside your skill growth. We are going to take a moment to go over the different quest ranks and what the restrictions for each rank are. We're going to start with the item fulfillment quests and then move on to the combat quests afterwards. For item fulfillment quests, rank E is accessible to everyone in Mabinogi, even if you haven't ranked up a single life skill yet. Rank D will become available after you've ranked up your life skills a total of 300 times. Rank C will be unlocked at a life skill level of 500, Rank B becomes available after a life skill level of 700, and Rank A missions will be available once you've reached a life skill level of 800 or higher. The reason the game breaks the quests up into these ranks is to help keep the pace of unlocking Stardust in line with your character progression, where Rank E quests can be done with minimal skill ranks and Rank A only at high skill ranks. Some examples of this are as follows. A Rank E quest may require you to gather 30 pieces of wool, which doesn't have an actual skill requirement to do. The first time you shear a sheep is when you learn of the sheep shearing skill. Rank D quests might require some skill training, such as delivering 5 pieces of finest firewood, which would require Rank 9 carpentry in order to make. Rank C are usually going to require either a higher rank or a larger amount of materials, such as delivering a basic leather armor, which while the armor does only require Rank 9 tailoring, it does require a larger sum of materials to craft. Rank B require high ranks of skill, such as delivering 5 gold bars, which require a refining rank of 3 to craft, and Rank A tasks are usually going to require some more obscure materials or require more steps to complete, such as the quest to deliver 2 picnic chicken kebabs, which would require Rank 1 cooking, as well as being a several step dish, and requiring materials you cannot purchase easily at a store. The Core Fragment Collection quests, or more easily identified as combat quests, are much less restrictive. However, they do have larger gaps in their required ranks due to how many different combat skills there are in Mabinogi. Again, Rank E quests have no prerequisites to begin doing. Rank D quests will become available after a combat skill level of 800 has been reached. Rank C becomes available after a combat skill level of 1400. Rank B will be unlocked after a skill total of 1800, and you'll have access to Rank A missions after getting a combat skill level of over 2000. The combat quests will be fairly straightforward. You accept the quest and go clear the dungeon or shadow mission you're told to do, similar to a Slayer task in RuneScape for those who are familiar. Once you've finished the assigned mission, you return and turn it in. Do not forget to claim your quest reward in your quest log before attempting to receive a new quest. If at any point when doing the life or combat quests, you have a quest you cannot do or do not want to do, you can request a new quest from Melwyn once per in-game day for each type of quest. It is possible to re-roll the same quest you're trying to skip though, so do be mindful of that being a possibility. This timer does reset at 6 AM in-game. Now that we know what types of restrictions we'll face getting into Stardust, it's time to go over what the actual benefits of it are. When you first get access to Stardust, you'll have the Blast passive ability, which provides a chance of hitting opponents again for a percentage of your damage on single target attacks, such as the counterattack skill. As you level up your Stardust, you'll also get access to the Smart Blast subskill at Stardust level 6, and Power Blast at Stardust level 11. Smart Blast increases your chance of Blast activating, while Power Blast will increase the damage dealt by Blast. By the time you have Blast fully upgraded, you'll have a 30% chance to deal an extra 45% damage to a single target attack, which averages out to an overall damage increase of 13.5% on your single target attacks. The majority of combat talents don't have very many single target attacks, however more of the melee-oriented ones, such as fighters, warriors, and knights, have several that you can utilize. Once you have leveled your Stardust up to level 2, you'll unlock the Flare passive ability, which behaves very similar to Blast. Flare provides a chance of hitting an opponent again for a percentage of the damage you deal on multi-target attacks. This means that any skill that can hit multiple enemies at once, such as Windmill, can cause Flare to be activated. The sub-skills are Smart Flare, unlocked at Stardust level 7, and Power Flare, which is unlocked at Stardust level 12. Just like with Blast, Smart Flare will increase the chance of Flare activating, while Power Flare will increase the damage it deals. Once Flare has been fully upgraded, you'll have a 30% activation chance, with a damage bonus of 40%. On average, this means that you'll be dealing roughly 12% more damage with all of your multi-target attacks. Flare is particularly useful for players who prefer talents that have a lot of crowd control or AoE abilities, such as Puppeteer, Ninja, or Gunslinger. At Stardust level 3, you're going to unlock a skill called Blow. The Blow skill is actually an active skill that you have to hotkey if you want to use it. You can find it in the Hidden Skill tab of your skills menu. Blow is typically used for getting some space away from enemies because it does a small amount of damage, pushes enemies back, and stuns them for a short duration. Blow also has an effect where for a short duration after it's triggered, the Veil passive effect that you'll unlock at Stardust level 5 has an increased chance of activating. The Smart Blow subskill is unlocked at level 8 and provides a cooldown reduction to Blow, while also increasing the chance of Veil activating further, while Power Blow is unlocked at Stardust level 13 and increases the knockback distance and damage dealt by the Blow skill. At Stardust level 4, you will unlock another active skill called Chaser. The Chaser skill can also be found inside of the Hidden tab of your skill menu. Chaser is usually used to either deny an enemy from getting to a specific spot, or to deal additional damage while it's active. With Chaser, you select a location near an enemy and designate that area to attack. Any enemy that walks into that area will begin to take damage from your Stardust satellites, and be stunned for a short duration after each hit. The amount of enemies you can target at once is the same amount of Stardust satellites that you currently have. At the end of the damage period of Chaser, it will also land a single higher damage hit. The Smart Chaser subskill is unlocked at level 9 and provides an increase to the damage that Chaser deals, as well as a cooldown reduction to the Chaser skill. While the Power Chaser subskill is unlocked at level 14 and will give you an increased attack range for Chaser, as well as an increase to the damage to that final hit. At Stardust level 5, you will unlock the final primary ability of Stardust, which will be called Veil. Veil is a passive ability that provides a chance to reduce the damage you take and reflect some of it back to your attackers, as well as providing stun immunity while it's active. In my experience, there doesn't seem to be a cooldown for how often Veil can trigger either. You'll unlock the Smart Veil subskill at Stardust level 10, and it will increase the duration of how long Veil stays active for once it's been triggered, as well as increase the amount of damage reflected back at your attacker. The Power Veil subskill is the final subskill you unlock at level 15, and provides an increased chance of Veil activating, as well as increasing how much damage it reduces. Once Veil has been fully upgraded, you will have a 10% chance to reduce your damage intake by 97%, and reflect 200% of the damage you take back to your attacker for 4 seconds. This means that on average, you'll be taking 9.7% less damage compared to before you had begun your Stardust journey. There are some limitations that I would like to go over with the Stardust system that are worth bearing in mind, such as if you are only using a basic attack, The Blast or Flare passive skills cannot trigger. This is because they both require a skill to be used in order to have a chance of activating. I even double checked talents that have their basic attack classified as a skill, such as Chain Slasher's Dorka Snatch, Archery's Ranged Attack, Shuriken, and Dual Gun Masteries. However, none of those skills appeared to be capable of triggering Blast or Flare. This also means that skills like Way of the Gun cannot trigger Blast or Flare either, since they utilize the basic attack. Another limitation that Stardust faces is that when the Chaser skill is active, you cannot trigger any other Stardust effects, since the Stardust satellites are otherwise occupied. This means that while Chaser is in effect, you lose the bonus damage from Blast and Flare, as well as the damage reduction from Veil. You also cannot shove enemies back with Blow while Chaser is active. Now that we have gone over the skills and sub-skills, there's something else that's really important to go over as well, and it's the fact that Stardust has two different leveling systems included within it. There's the overall Stardust ranks, which are how you obtain the skills and sub-skills we've gone over, but each of those skills and sub-skills has 10 ranks as well. There are two individual charts for these different level systems, and we'll start with the Stardust rank first. Some important things to note about the Stardust rank system are that the upgrades have a 100% success rate. It simply consumes the provided materials and gives you the upgrade with no additional worry about a chance to fail the upgrade. These upgrades require a large amount of materials and healthy sum of gold as well. Specifically at levels 6, 11, and 15, you'll also receive an additional Stardust satellite, which will increase the number of targets Chaser can attack, as well as increase the support skill's damage values overall. The second upgrade system for Stardust actually involves each individual skill and sub-skill. Not only do you have to obtain the skills, but they all have to be upgraded individually. The chart on screen has the information for how much it costs to attempt an upgrade. As you reach higher support effect levels, the success rate goes down and the cost of gold per attempt goes up. I won't be going over every individual level up effect here, but the effects of each level have been recorded over on the Mabinogi wiki on the Stardust system webpage. I will once again state that in order to get materials for Stardust, you'll have to take on the Royal Society quests. When you complete the quests for Stardust, you'll get two types of materials, some gold, and some Royal Society sponsorship badges. You'll always receive 10,000 gold from a Royal Society quest completion. If you've completed an item fulfillment request, you'll get 2 Stardust Regulator Frame connectors and 2 Stardust Regulator Frames depending on which rank mission you do. If you complete a combat quest, you'll get 2 Stardust Core Binding Agents and some Stardust Core Fragments depending on the rank of mission completed. When it comes to the Royal Society sponsorship badges, they're awarded based off of what rank mission you take on. Rank E missions will award 1 badge, rank D will award 2, rank C will award 3, rank B will provide 4, and rank A tops out at 5. When it comes to the Royal Society sponsorship badges, there's a handful of items that you can spend them on. Some of the items have a weekly you can purchase. These items include the Stardust Dye Ample, used to recolor your Stardust with a limit of 5 per week, the Royal Society Gem Box, which provides a 1 to 10 centimeter of any gem available with a limit of 10 per week, and the Royal Society Appreciation Box, which is somewhat akin to a Gachapon, having some very desirable items inside, such as enchants, totems, or skill training seals. The Royal Appreciation Box also has a limit of 10 per week, and the last item that you can purchase on a weekly basis is the Precise Reforging Tools, which are limited to 5 per week. Other items you can get from your Royal Society sponsorship badges include skill training potion boxes, as well as a couple of alternative forms for Stardust. Speaking of alternative forms for Stardust, this is where fashion meets function. Some players who are more into the fashion aspect of Mabinogi may want to rank up Stardust to have access to the different styles. As of the time of recording for this video, there are 21 different types of Stardust, each with 4 appearances. Of the 21 different appearances, there are 9 that can be currently obtained by the player at any time. The rest are from old events or gachapons. The cool thing about Stardust appearance change function is that you can mix and match the appearances however you would like. This means that you have a vast number of options for customizing Stardust to fit the outfit you have on. My personal Stardust appearance of choice is actually the Null Stardust, which hides them from appearing around your character at all, while still maintaining all of the benefits you have from having them equipped. The last thing I will go over for Stardust are beneficial items. There are 5 items that I was able to validate existing, and 4 of those items are currently obtainable, while the 5th is from a cash shop sale. The first item is the Royal Academy Crystal, which provides double rewards for a single Stardust quest of any type, and there are 3 methods to get them. The first method is from events, however they are pretty uncommon as a reward. The second method is daily purchases available from Saiv for 500,000 seasonal ducats, or from any of the trading post merchants for 500,000 non-seasonal ducats. Each merchant will have a limit of 1 per day. And the third method to obtain them is out of a cash shop package, such as the Welcome Militia Growth Package. The other 3 currently obtainable items for Stardust are Stardust Material boxes available from the Seal Merchant on Sundays. There's a Stardust Regulator Frame Connector box, which will provide 10 Stardust Frame Regulators at the cost of 70 Adventurer Seals, as well as the Stardust Core Binding Agent box for the same price, awarding 10 Stardust Core Binding Agents. The last box that is going to be available is called the Stardust Materials Selection box, which can provide you 10 of any rank material of your choice. All of these are going to be very beneficial to assisting in progressing your Stardust. The 5th, more elusive item is the Elixir of Prosperity, which gives you double rewards from Stardust quests for 1 hour with a 23-hour cooldown on use. And it was obtained from the 2023 Black Friday Cash Shop sale as part of the Dauntless Black Friday package and the Bountiful Black Friday package. At the time of recording, it is unknown if these elixirs will be making a comeback. There is one other thing that's very helpful that's worth mentioning. Every so often there are events that are held that can help provide an increase to Stardust progression. Usually these are longer events, and in more recent years have come to be called the Master Plan event. The events typically provide you the ability to get double rewards on all your Stardust quests, which does stack multiplicatively with the Royal Academy Crystal, meaning that you could net 4 times the rewards. And with that, our lecture on the Stardust system has concluded. If you feel that I've missed anything or have some additional questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments or reach out to me in-game through notes. If you found the information in this video helpful, consider leaving a like, and if you want to learn more going forward, please consider subscribing. Thank you for staying until the end, and I hope to see you in our next video.